From my time on tour, guys, one big thing that you need to do is manage your expectations. How many times I see people from here 100 yards away from a green in the fairway and you expect to hit it with inside 10 feet. Comment below, guys, how close are you expecting to hit it from here, because most of you will be well inside tour average. So tour average from here, for example, is 23 feet. So over a course of a season, your best players in the world on the European, on the PGA Tour, are hitting it.
Is that a radius as well, by the way? So if you think that's like a 46 feet circle.
Exactly. So obviously you could miss the green here, you'd be inside 23 feet technically, but you'd be off the green. You'd be inside tour average, but you'd be chipping, for example. So it's all about managing your expectations. If you're somebody who misses the green from here, do you miss the green? Maybe let's say you've got 10 shots, you miss it 50% of the time. Maybe let's just try and get one shot better than that. Let's try and get 6 on the green from 10, and this is how you need to improve. Stop beating yourself up, because from here the best on tour, which was Rory McIlroy.
Is he McIlroy's cousin?
I don't know him, but that surprised me. But he was in at 17 feet on average over the season. So again, 17 feet. If I put your golf ball at 17 feet, I'm sure you wouldn't be too happy and you'd say you'd hit a poor shot. But from here, manage your expectations, start to hit a few more greens, and we'll start to lower your scores. For me there, I've dropped down to a pitching wedge, I've hit it nice and easy, and again, you would probably stay there going, well, that's not very good for a pro, but I would say that's probably between 17 and 23 feet, so I'd be right in between the best on tour and the average on tour. And this is what you've got to think. If you're a 15 handicap golfer, 20 handicap golfer, don't start to be unrealistic with your targets. Let's just start to get a little bit better than you were yesterday. Let's go onto the driving range and start to hit towards targets and not think, well, if I don't hit it in this practice session, I'm obviously never going to get my handicap down. Let's just try and get that a little bit closer each time. And again, from here, I'm going to hit another one, and this is where we're practicing that same number. I'm just going to put a nice swing on this, not try and overcomplicate it. Very similar, I'd be happy with the strike, I'm happy with the ball flight. And again, I'd say that's probably 20, 25 feet away, but you would probably not be happy. But we're on the green there, and we're now going to go onto the green and talk about putting. How many people don't have putting lessons, don't practice putting, just go maybe a couple of putts around the putting green, chuck 3 balls down, hit one on the green, yeah, I'm ready to go to that first tee, or they bypass it. We want to talk about tour averages here, because a lot of people instantly start to think they need to, obviously, 2-putt every single time, but how many 3-putts do you have? Which is what we're going to talk about now.
What I want to talk about though is how Chris has chosen a golf club there in the pitching wedge,
yep.
But realistically you know you can hit 100 yards on the nose, because a full one goes 130 yards.
Yep.
What so many people would do here is go 100 yards. I know from my gapping session that's my lob wedge. I'm going to hit a full lob wedge. Incorrect.
And that's it. So it's being able to control your ball flight, get the flight that you want and make it as easy as possible. We know if you make a shorter swing and you control that, there's more chance of squaring that club face up. Again, on tour, yes, all the players will have a 60 or a 58 in the bag, but how many times they use it is very rare. From here, they would still be doing the same, dropping down a club, controlling their flight, controlling their speed, and as a result, they'll control the spin, hit it a little bit closer, hit greens more often, and that's why they're shooting under par, and maybe why you're shooting over par.
But what do you say to the guy? Sorry, you're going again here, but I'm always interested about Chris's time on tour, because I've never done it, and I'm sure you guys haven't as well if you're watching this. So what do you say to the guys who say, I can't play the half shot, I can't do it, I have to hit a full shot?
Well, this is where, again, it's practice. It's going on there and actually putting the time in to learn that shot, because the better you get at that shot, the better your handicap's going to become.
So, I think the key tips here for people to hit this half shot, it's really, really simple. All you want to have a nice narrow stance, you want to have plenty of club that you know can go the distance, and from here, have your weight on your left foot. You don't need a massive weight transfer for the shots. What I see so often when people try to play these shots is they'll play a half shot, but they'll still have a weight transfer. So your ball goes too far because you've got too much club head speed. You can regulate your club head speed by just moving your shoulders. You keep that weight on your left side, and you think about how far back am I taking that club with my shoulders and my chest. So from there, you can start playing. That's got to be inside tour average, Chris. Go on then. Oh, but you can start playing shots where you can see we've got the turf interaction Chris mentioned, but we're starting to regulate how far that ball goes just with our upper body and that left arm position. We'll have a bit of that.
So guys, now if we talk about tour average on the putting green here, obviously the biggest thing I can say for people to improve on this year, if you improve your pace, you will lower your scores this year. Obviously, the biggest thing I see people work on is, oh, I don't want that figure of 8 stroke, everything gets tense, there's no flow to the stroke, and from here they'll get over and, ooh, it's a quick hit. But outside of 30 feet, or 33 feet to be precise, is where tour pros are expected to 3-putt from. So if you're hitting your shots onto the front edge of the green here, for example, you'd have a 50-foot putt. So obviously you would be expected to 3-putt, so don't worry about that. But if you can work on your pace this year, then if we can just get your putts, even from this distance here, just inside 25 feet, if we can get this closer to the hole, with a good routine, from there now I believe, right, I can knock that in, I'm comfortable with that, that's a good first putt, I'm happy to get out of there. We're not going to hole many from there, that's going to be a 1 in 5 for a tour pro, so for an everyday golfer it's going to be 1 in 15 at best. But if I can knock it to there and be consistent, I'm going to get a lot more 2-putts this year. Get rid of 3-putts, and getting rid of 3-putts for average golfers is the way that you're going to lower your scores the best. Again, these are the kind of shots we've hit in here, all inside tour average.
The closest one, Chris, do you know?
You were the closest one, pitched at the hole and stopped nicely. But if we can get a good routine with your practice swings for pace, hopefully we can get you closer with that first putt, and from there guys, we're going to help you lower your scores this year and get good at golf. Do those tips again, think about how close and what your expectations are and get those scores down this year. Going, son!